Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
And together we're Backyard Musings, broadcasting from Apple Valley, California.
The Science and Technology Channel.
This is not clickbait. This is research that was actually done. It's kind of a strange one, but follow through with us. A team of researchers has discovered a clever way to turn falling water droplets, like those from rain, into usable electricity. You heard that right, usable electricity. By channeling droplets through a narrow vertical tube to create plug flow, they were able to separate electrical charges and harvest energy with surprising efficiency. This simple setup not only overcame the inefficiencies of traditional charge separation methods, but also produced enough power to light 12 LEDs. With potential applications on rooftops and in urban environments, this innovative system could offer a sustainable and low-cost alternative to hydroelectric power. Would you like to know more?
So I was just going to say, this is kind of like a hydroelectric system on a miniature scale, but yeah, pretty cool. When two materials touch, the charges on their surfaces can shift. A familiar example is the static electricity you get from rubbing a balloon on your skin. Similarly, when water flows over certain surfaces, it can pick up or lose electrical charge. Now, researchers reporting today, that would be yesterday, right?
But it was today when I wrote it.
April 16th, right?
Yeah.
In ACS Central Science, some kind of a journal or something, have tapped into this effort to generate electricity using rain-like droplets flowing through a narrow tube. The system produces enough power to light 12 LEDs. So I'm envisioning almost like a downspout for a gutter system on a house.
Yeah, but it seems to me that it's much more narrow. Those gutters, are pretty big. I'm thinking this has got to be narrow, but we'll see. We'll see because it said plug, so I'm thinking the water has to plug the thing. Quote:
Right.
Water that falls through a vertical tube generates a substantial amount of electricity by using a specific pattern of water flow, plug flow, says Xiaoling So, the study's corresponding author. This plug flow pattern could allow rain energy to be harvested for generating clean and renewable electricity. So, Scott, to what you were saying, like in the gutter, have all of these vertical, pipes in the horizontal gutter.
Right, or a collection, like a collection box, and then having it almost like when you collect rainwater in a barrel, and then you could elevate that and then have these tubes coming out. But where would you store? Would you have to have some kind of a battery system to store that power?
Probably, yeah, battery, yeah.
And again, definitely. Maybe in Hawaii this would work great, but here in the high desert or any desert area,
Seattle is what almost all rain all year round.
Right, exactly. Conventional hydroelectric power works by moving large volumes of water to turn turbines. But this only works in places with ample water, like rivers, or I'm going to throw in here like dams, when you dam up a river and all that water. So for smaller, slower water flows, researchers have explored an alternative, charge separation. This process generates electricity as water flows through a channel lined with conductive surface. However, it's highly inefficient because charge only builds at the surface the water touches. So
like I was saying, if you had a vertical pipe that like a half-inch diameter, quarter-inch diameter, whatever, that ran from your gutters, from your eaves down to the ground, that's 14 feet right there. So that's a long distance. Yeah. Okay. To improve efficiency, scientists have tried using micro and nanoscale channels. Wow, okay. To increase surface area, but these channels are so small that water doesn't flow through them easily, and pumping it through uses more energy than the system produces. To solve this, So, Chi Kit Ao and their team look for a way to generate electricity using larger channels that rainwater can naturally pass through.
The team designed a simple setup whereby water flowed out the bottom of a tower, metallic needle, and spurted rain-sized droplets into the opening of a 12-inch tall and 2 millimeter wide vertical polymer tube. The head-on collision of the droplets at the top of the tube caused a plug flow. Short columns of water interspersed with pockets of air. As water flowed down the inside of the tube, electrical charges separated. The water was then collected in a cup below the tube. Wires placed at the top of the tube and in the cup harvested the electricity.
Wow.
Okay. Pretty
I
wild.
mean, how do these guys think of this? I mean,
I don't know. That's the same thing I was thinking when I was reading this earlier. I don't know. I guess
like
they're
thinking outside the box, man.
Definitely outside the box. Yep.
The plug flow system converted more than 10% of the energy of the water flowing through the tubes into electricity. Hey, that's 10% more than nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And compared water flowing in a continuous stream, plug flow produced 5 orders of magnitude more than more electricity. Because the droplet speeds tested were much slower than rain, the researchers suggest the system could be used to harvest electricity from falling raindrops.
Another experiment, the researchers observed that moving water through 2 tubes, either simultaneously or sequentially, separated double the energy. Using this information, they channeled water through 4 tubes, and the setup powered 12 LEDs continuously for 20 seconds. Okay, this is like Kitty Hawk type stuff, right? Orville and Wilbur, just a little bit at a. The researchers say that plug flow energy could be simpler to set up and maintain than hydroelectric plants. Probably a lot cheaper, I would think, and it could be convenient for urban spaces like rooftops. So, yeah. So I don't know. Again, we're in a very sunny part of the Southwest,
but dry too.
Dry. So this kind of thing. But I'm thinking, and again, I'm not trying to get off topic here, but every time we drive somewhere and I see huge solar farms, and the price of our power rise, but somebody's getting all this power and either selling it back to the power plants, the power companies, like our favorite one here is Southern California Edison, and we got PG&E and a few other companies in California. So, but why isn't that driving the power down? So this, I could see this being almost like a solar system, getting you off the grid type thing, right? You're using this, maybe not for 100% of your power, but you could contribute, like you say, 10%, and they're just the beginning of this. Maybe 2 or 3 years from now, they're at 50 or 60%. Now that's
I want to follow your question. Where is it going? Like before Doge came, we had no idea how is this debt at 36 trillion? Where is it going? And then Doge uncovered all these things for fraud, waste, and abuse. Our California Public Utilities Commission is governed by the state of California. I'll bet you'll find the same thing in that system. Just money going to different places, which drives up the cost. I'll bet you'll find it.
Yeah, well, and I guess now more and more states, maybe not this state, but more and more states are starting to start their own little Doge.
Red states, the blue states, exactly. They will lose money for the powers that be.
Right. So yeah, I don't know. This could be a cool thing in the near future. I think if they keep dialing this down, it'll at least be a supplement to your existing power. And if you could get off of the power company's grid when they got you, that's what I'm aiming for. I think they're pillaging us.
The barrier I would see is getting that electricity to work for you. Collecting it's one thing, hooking it into your system in the house is another. We got so much wind. I've asked around about wind turbine generators, and people like one of our friends at church who works for SoCal Edison, that's negligible. It's hard to hook it up to the system, and you're better off with solar. So I think that's the barrier.
Yeah, it's it's expensive too, right? So, and again, those wind turbines, you've still got to lubricate them. you still have to do a lot of stuff where they're just not like a windmill off of pumping water up from the ground like you'd see at a ranch or a farm. They're a little bit more detailed, but I don't know. It's coming though. But if they could, I mean, I've known guys that have had wind turbines installed, and it looks cool, but I don't know how cost effective it is.
Just imagine this, the planet Camino on Star Wars, where they made the clones. That was a rain-swept planet. Just imagine if you used it on that planet. That's like unlimited energy. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well,
All right, folks.
like I said, places like what you just said, Pacific Northwest, Hawaii, other areas that get rain, 365 days out of the year, that would be perfect. So, and then storing it. So, but anyway, great topic, man.
Thanks, folks.
Take care. Thanks.